What if the most powerful blueprint for wealth and power wasn't written in a modern business book, but has been hiding in plain sight for 3,000 years? You've heard the verses from Proverbs. You've been told they are simple moral lessons, rules to be obeyed. But that was a story told to the sleeping. The truth is, these are not rules. They are laws, the immutable physics of consciousness. They are the secret operating manual for your inner world. And the Lord they speak of is not a king on a distant throne. It is the I am within you, the creative power of your own awareness. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, the veil will be lifted. You will understand that what they called fear is your alignment, what they called discipline is your royal power, and what they called the word is the command that shapes your reality. This isn't another lesson. This is an awakening. They told you to fear God, a trembling small fear, the fear of a slave before a master. But that was a mistranslation of the soul, a lie told to keep you small. The true meaning is not terror. It is awe. It is reverence, a deep knowing stillness in the presence of an immense invisible power that governs all things. Imagine standing before an ocean, feeling its raw, untamable energy. You don't panic. You respect it. You understand its laws. This is the fear that is the beginning of wisdom. It's the moment your consciousness awakens to the fact that there are principles, a divine architecture holding reality together. It is the operant power of the universe itself. You are not separate from it. You are a part of it. And when you learn to honor it, to align with it, you stop fighting against the current of life and begin to command it. This reverence is your first step out of the chaos of chance and into the world of deliberate creation. You already are a master. You have just forgotten how to stand in awe of your own power. But that's only the surface. This reverence is not for something outside of you. It is for the law within you, that higher order, that invisible principle. Napoleon Hill called it infinite intelligence. It is the consciousness from which all things are born. The code of truth is not written in a book. It is etched into your very being. To align with it is to align with your true self, the I am. Wisdom begins when you stop looking for answers outside and start listening to the silent, all-knowing presence within. This isn't prayer as you were taught it. This is not begging. This is alignment, a tuning of your mind to a frequency of truth, of power, of clarity. When you hold a state of reverence for this inner intelligence, your thoughts become purified, your vision clears, and you begin to see the path that was always there, waiting for your selection. This is not about becoming worthy. You already are. It's about remembering the source from which you operate and honoring its immense silent power. Now go deeper. How do you activate this alignment? How do you make this infinite intelligence work for you? It is not a passive state. It is an active selection. You do it through discipline, faith, ethics, and direction. These are not mere virtues. They are the gears of creation. Discipline is the conscious choice to hold a single, unwavering assumption, ignoring the chaos of the senses. Faith is the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the deep knowing that what you have assumed is already a fact in your inner world. Ethics is the harmony of your actions with universal law, knowing that what you send out, you receive. And direction. Direction is your definite chief aim, the North Star of your imagination. These four actions, practiced with intention, are what turn your consciousness from a passive observer into an operant power. They are the keys that unlock the gates of wisdom, allowing the infinite to flow through the finite. They are the sacred ritual that transforms a mere wish into a physical reality. This awakened wisdom is not an abstract concept. It is a tangible force. It's the quiet voice that guides your hand in business, the sudden insight that solves an impossible problem, the unshakable calm in the face of a storm. It's the difference between guessing and knowing. When you are aligned, you don't hope for the best. You select the best. You see opportunities where others see only obstacles. You move with a certainty that others mistake for arrogance, but it is not. It is the quiet confidence of one who walks in partnership with the universe itself. This wisdom is the ultimate currency. It is the spiritual capital that precedes all material wealth. Prosperity is not an accident. It is a shadow cast by a mind that is illuminated by wisdom. And that wisdom is a direct result of your alignment with the truth of your own being, the I am that resides at the core of your consciousness. The feeling of knowing is the key that unlocks it all. Here's what changes everything. This wisdom, this prosperity is not granted. It is earned. It is the inevitable consequence of a life lived in harmony with these principles. When your discipline becomes second nature, when your faith becomes an unshakable state, and when your direction is clear, prosperity becomes your natural condition. It is not something you chase. It is something that finds you. The universe, this infinite intelligence, is always seeking expression. By activating wisdom through these principles, you become a perfect channel for its expression of abundance, of clarity, of power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become an agent of creation. The principles were always there. The power was always within you. The fear was never about terror. It was an invitation to awaken, to align, and to finally claim the inheritance that has always been yours. You already are everything you seek to become. The ancients said a person without self-control is like a city without walls. Think about that. Truly feel it. A city with no defenses, open to every invader, every stray dog, every thief in the night. This is the state of the undisciplined mind. Your inner world, the sacred ground where your reality is forged, becomes a marketplace of chaos. Every passing opinion from the outside world, every fleeting doubt from your own past, every whisper of fear becomes an invader that can seize your throne of consciousness. You are not the ruler of your own kingdom. You are a puppet, pulled by the strings of impulse, appetite, and the suggestions of others. Without this inner government, this self-discipline, your imagination is not your own. Your power is not your own. You have handed the keys to your reality to anyone and anything that happens to pass by. True freedom begins with building those walls, not of stone, but of decision. A firm, unshakable decision about who is in command of your inner world. I am. But these walls are not a prison. They are the foundations of a palace. This is what Napoleon Hill understood at the deepest level. To conquer the world, you must first conquer your own mind. The outer world is nothing but a mirror, a reflection of your inner government. If your mind is in a state of civil war, desire fighting discipline, impulse fighting intention, then your life will be a battlefield of endless struggle and frustration. Conquering your mind is not about suppression. It is about enthronement. It is the selection of your highest self, your I am, as the undisputed sovereign. You decide which thoughts are granted citizenship in your consciousness. You decide which feelings are allowed to influence your state. This is the ultimate operant power, the ability to choose your own assumption and remain faithful to it, regardless of the evidence of your senses. The world doesn't yield to those who want it most. It yields to those who have first established absolute dominion over themselves. Here's what changes everything. This inner government cannot be built on the flimsy sand of motivation. Motivation is a feeling, a fleeting chemical reaction. It comes and it goes. It is a fair weather friend. Relying on it is like building your city walls with mist. The real power, the enduring structure, comes from habit. It comes from being. True discipline is being greater than your mood. It is acting from the state you have chosen, not the state you have stumbled into. You don't feel like the person you want to be. You decide you already are that person and act accordingly. This is the secret. Your actions then reprogram your subconscious mind. The servant follows the master's command. By repeatedly acting from your assumption, you build the habits, the neural pathways, the very substance of your being, until the discipline is no longer an effort. It is simply who you are. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are discipline itself. Now go deeper. Observe the ant. It has no commander, no overseer, no one to praise its work or punish its laziness, yet it labors tirelessly from dawn till dusk. It builds, it prepares. It operates from an inner code, a silent internal directive. This is noble discipline. To act, not because you are being watched, but because you are guided by your own internal law. To build your empire in the silence, when no one is clapping, when there is no immediate reward. This is the test. The universe watches the silent builders, the ones who don't announce their plans but simply execute them. The ones who show up day after day, laying one brick of disciplined action upon another, guided by the blueprint in their imagination. While the lazy wait for orders and then complain about the instructions, the masters are already building. They understand that feeling is the key, but disciplined action is what turns the key in the lock. And so the silent builders inherit the earth. Success is not loud. It is the quiet, inevitable result of an inner world brought into perfect order. It belongs to the consciousness that has established a government within itself, a rule of order guided by an unwavering internal code. These are the ones who work while others sleep, who study while others are distracted, who persist when others quit. Not because they are motivated by some external prize, but because their work is the natural expression of their inner state. Their discipline is their identity. But this incredible power, this inner government, must serve a purpose. A city with impenetrable walls but no one inside is a tomb. Discipline without a clear aim is just a cage. This is why the foundation of self-discipline must be built upon something even more profound. A definite, crystal clear purpose. For without it, all the strength in the world leads nowhere. Imagine a powerful ship, It sails full, its crew strong, its cargo holds filled with treasure. But it has no rudder, no map, no destination. It is lost at sea. All that power, all that wealth, all that potential leads only to drifting. It spins in circles, a victim of every current and every storm, until it is finally broken against the rocks or swallowed by the waves. This is the human soul without a definite purpose. You can have strength, you can have talent, you can have dreams, but without a crystal-clear destination, you are simply drifting through life. Your energy is wasted, your power is scattered, and your days dissolve into a frustrating cycle of meaningless activity. You become busy doing nothing. This is the greatest tragedy. Not failure, but a life spent sailing with all your might in no particular direction. The power that could have conquered continents is wasted just trying to stay afloat. But that's only the surface. The scripture says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." This is not a religious platitude. It is a profound spiritual mechanism. The him is not a being outside of yourself. It is the supreme law of your own consciousness, the infinite intelligence within your I am. To acknowledge this power is to give it a definite direction. It is to plant a flag in your imagination, to declare your destination with absolute certainty. This is the operant power of selection. When you define your purpose, you give the infinite power within you a command. Your subconscious mind, the faithful servant, then begins to direct your every step, filter your every perception, and align your every action to bring you to that destination. This is how your paths are made straight. You stop wandering in the desert of indecision and start walking the royal road to your own defined success. This is the one great secret that separates the masters of reality from the slaves of circumstance. Napoleon Hill discovered it after studying the most powerful people on earth. Every single one of them, without exception, possessed an absolute, burning, definite clarity of purpose. They knew precisely what they wanted. Not in vague terms. Not, "I want to be rich" or "I want to be happy." They had a picture so clear in their minds it was already a memory. They knew the exact amount of money, the specific position, the precise contribution they would make. They could feel the reality of it in every cell of their being. And they knew the price. They knew what they would have to give in return. The discipline, the focus, the temporary sacrifices. This clarity wasn't a wish. It was a decision, a sacred contract signed with their own higher self. You must know what you want, and you must want it with the fire of your whole being. Now go deeper. To consecrate your actions means to make them sacred by aligning them with this higher purpose. Once your destination is set, it becomes the ultimate filter for your life. Every action, every conversation, every choice is weighed against a single question. Does this move me toward my goal? If the answer is yes, you act with courage and truth. If the answer is no, you discard it without a moment's hesitation, no matter how tempting it may seem. This is how you align your personal plans with the universal plan. You become a focused instrument of creation. But remember this: intention without action is a dead prayer. Your assumption must be embodied. Your faith must be made flesh through your deeds. The universe responds to what you do, not just what you think. Acting with clarity, from the feeling of the wish already fulfilled, is the sacred ritual that commands the unseen to become seen. Here's what changes everything. The world does not belong to the hopeful. It belongs to the clear-minded. It bows not to the strongest body, but to the most focused consciousness. When you have a defined purpose, held in your imagination with unshakable faith, backed by disciplined action, you become an unstoppable force of nature. The infinite intelligence guides you because you have given it a clear channel through which to flow. What others call luck, you will recognize as the law of attraction in action. What they call miracles, you will see as the natural result of a mind in perfect alignment with its own creative power. The universe bends to the will of the one who knows what they want and refuses to be distracted. Your clarity of purpose is your scepter, your faith is your crown, and your disciplined action is the throne from which you rule your reality. You already are a sovereign. Now command your world. The ancient proverb declares that life and death are in the power of the tongue. This is not poetry. It is physics. It is the operating manual for your reality. Your words are not empty sounds that vanish into the air. They are vibrational commands. Each word you speak is a chisel, carving your future into the raw marble of consciousness. They are the printer of the invisible, giving form to your deepest assumptions. When you complain, you are placing an order for more things to complain about. When you speak of lack, you are programming your subconscious mind to create more lack. When you speak words of doubt and fear, you are casting a spell of failure upon yourself. You must become a ruthless guard at the gate of your mouth. For every word you utter is either a prayer that builds your heaven or a curse that digs your hell. The choice in every single moment is yours. What reality are you speaking into existence right now? This is the timeless law. Whatsoever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's break this down. This isn't a motivational slogan. It's a creative formula. To conceive is the sacred act of imagination. It is seeing your desire in your mind's eye, not as a distant dream, but as a present living reality. You must build the temple in your inner world before a single stone can be laid in the outer world. To believe is the even more powerful act of assumption. It is the feeling. It is clothing your imagined reality with such a vivid sense of truth that it becomes more real than your current circumstances. This is faith. The unwavering internal knowing that you already are the person you wish to be. When conception and belief merge into one state of consciousness, achievement is not a struggle. It is an inevitability. It is the natural unfolding of the seed you have planted and nourished in the soil of your own wonderful human imagination. But how do you believe what your senses deny? How do you silence the screaming armies of doubt? Through the divine science of self-suggestion. Your subconscious mind is fertile, impersonal soil. It will grow any seed you plant in it, whether it be a seed of success or a seed of failure. Daily repetition of your new truth, your affirmations, is the act of deliberately planting and watering the seeds you choose to grow. This isn't wishful thinking, it's subconscious reprogramming. You are overriding the old, limiting beliefs that were planted there by others, by your past, by a world that taught you to be small. By persistently declaring, I am wealthy, I am strong, I am successful, you are commanding the vast loyal servant of your subconscious mind to get to work. It will break the old cycles of impulse. It will dissolve the habits of self-sabotage. It will begin to direct you toward the disciplined actions that are in harmony with your new assumed state. Now go deeper. You must not only speak the words, you must become the word. You must act as if your desire is already an objective fact. Speak, think, walk, and carry yourself as the person you have decided to be. This is not faking it. This is living from the end. It is selecting your desired reality and embodying that state right now. How would the wealthy version of you think about bills? How would the healthy version of you make choices about food? How would the successful version of you approach a challenge? You must begin to think from that state, not of that state. Your words then are no longer hopeful pleas to the universe. They become the natural declarations of what is. You are not trying to manifest anything. You are simply reporting on the reality that already exists within your own consciousness. This is the power. You are not creating, you are selecting, and your words are the announcement of your selection. Therefore, recognize the immense creative power you wield with every thought you think and every word you speak. Your inner conversations are constantly shaping your outer world. The destiny you are experiencing today is the result of the words you were speaking yesterday. Your words hold the power of life and death because they are the instructions you give to the only creative power in the universe, your own consciousness. So speak life, speak abundance, speak victory. Speak as if your heaven on earth were already a fact, for in the kingdom of your imagination it is. Your word is the divine decree. But a decree is useless without a kingdom to enact it. A blueprint is worthless without a builder. This is where your word must be joined by its physical twin, diligence. For the most powerful words of abundance, spoken from a state of laziness, will build nothing at all. Consider two farmers. The first, the lazy one, throws his seeds onto unprepared ground. He says a quick prayer for a miracle, then sits back and waits, complaining about the lack of rain, the heat of the sun, and the weeds that choke his field. He waits for the harvest that will never come. The second farmer, the diligent one, first prepares the soil. He meticulously removes every rock and weed. He plants his seeds with intention and care. And then his true work begins. Every single day he cultivates. He waters, he protects, he nurtures. He acts in partnership with the laws of growth. The lazy person believes a single act of planting is enough. The diligent person knows that the assumption of the seed must be followed by the discipline of cultivation. The universe doesn't reward the wisher, it rewards the worker. Abundance does not spring from untended ground. It is the child of your focused, daily loving effort. This is why the scripture states with brutal clarity, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. This is not a judgment. It is a law as real as gravity. Laziness is not just inaction. It is a state of consciousness. It is an assumption of powerlessness. It is a declaration to the universe that you are a victim, waiting for an external savior, and the universe, in its perfect wisdom, gives you exactly what you have assumed. Diligence, on the other hand, is the physical expression of faith. It is the operant power in motion. It is the declaration of the I am, the statement that you are a creator, capable and responsible for your own harvest. Wealth is not something you find. It is something you build. It is the natural, inevitable residue of a consciousness that is in a constant state of focused, productive, and disciplined action. Your hands are the instruments of your consciousness. What are they building today? Here's what changes everything. This diligence is what Napoleon Hill called controlled, persistent effort. It is the ability to hold your course, to continue your work, long after the initial emotion of excitement has faded. This is the great test. After you plant your seed of desire in the subconscious, the universe will test your faith. There will be a period of silence, a delay, where nothing seems to be happening on the outside. This is the moment the lazy give up. They dig up the seed to see if it's growing and kill it in the process. But the diligent understand. They know the seed is germinating in the darkness, in the invisible. Their persistence is the water and sunlight for that unseen growth. Their continued, disciplined action, even without immediate reward, is the message to the universe that their assumption is not a passing whim. It is an unshakable fact. Persistence is the highest form of faith, but do not confuse diligence with haste. The proverb warns, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Haste is the enemy of creation. It is impatience, born from a deep-seated fear that your desire will not come to pass. It is the frantic energy of someone trying to make something happen, which is a confession that they believe it isn't happening. Haste is a state of lack. Diligence, however, is calm, confident, persistent action. It is the steady rhythm of a master builder who knows the temple will be completed in its perfect time. The diligent person trusts the process, the gestation period required for all great creations. They are not anxious for the result, because they are already living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. They enjoy the building, the action itself, because it is the natural expression of the state they have already assumed. Haste is the energy of doubt. Diligence is the energy of knowing. And so, it is the faithful worker who is elevated. God, the law, the infinite intelligence, honors the one who shows up. Success does not belong to the dreamer, but to the disciplined dreamer who becomes a diligent worker. Elevation is not granted to those who ask for it. It is the natural consequence for those who build it. Brick by brick, day by day, you build your own throne through persistent, purpose-driven action. This is the grand culmination of all the laws. You begin with reverence for the power within. You establish an inner government through self-discipline. You set your course with a definite purpose. You command your reality with your word. And finally, you bring it all into being through unwavering diligence. You do not need to ask for success. You become it. You build it. And the universe, which always honors the law, has no choice but to place the crown upon the head of the one who has built their own kingdom. The code is now unlocked. These ancient laws were never written for a servant to obey. They were a manual for the sovereign to command. You are the sovereign. So from the throne of your consciousness, what truth will you decree as your reality right now? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe and turn on notifications because your awakening has only just begun. And if you're ready to master the next universal law, the next revelation is waiting for you on the screen. Click it now, and let's go deeper.